Have you ever felt like there was something more than what was on screen? A look that was too deep, a pause that was too long, or words that seemed so ordinary but held a meaning that was never said? This is what makes millions of fans around the world pause, holding their breath, when a simple confession is finally uttered. Not dramatically, not with a big spotlight, but enough to shake everything. Behind the glitz and glamour of China's seemingly perfect entertainment industry, there are stories that never fully reach the public. Stories hidden behind professional smiles, amidst busy schedules, and in the silences behind the scenes. And one of the most talked about, yet least understood, is the relationship between Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. Since their appearance in the phenomenal drama The Untamed, their chemistry has been captivating. Not just because of their strong acting, but because of something that feels real. Something that can't be faked, even by the best actors. Fans have begun to notice the little things. The way they look at each other when the cameras are about to turn off. The laughter that sounds more genuine when they're together. And it's the quiet moments that speak most. Was it simply professionalism? Or was there something deeper that was never explained? As the years passed, their popularity continued to grow. But along with it, the mystery thickened. There was no confirmation. No clear denial, just scattered bits and pieces, enough to fuel speculation, but never enough to provide answers. Then an interview emerged, quiet, almost unnoticeable, but in it, Wang Yibo said something that gave many pause. "She's someone very important in my life, more than people know." It was a simple sentence. It could even be considered banal, but that's precisely where its power lies. Because in a world where every word is usually carefully filtered, a statement like this rarely comes without meaning. No names were mentioned. There was no clear context. But for those who had followed this journey from the beginning, the answer felt almost certain. The internet erupted again. Old discussions resurfaced stronger than ever. Some thought it was simply a deepening friendship, a bond formed from a shared experience on a major project that changed their lives. And indeed, many believe that the pressures of the entertainment industry can create a very close relationship without necessarily being romantic. But others see it differently. They recall every moment that felt off, every interaction that seemed more personal than just coworkers. And in their minds, the pieces begin to form a more complex story. Behind the scenes of The Untamed, the two spent months together, under intense working conditions, with emotions constantly in play every day. In such situations, the line between role and reality often becomes blurred. And perhaps that's where it all began. But the entertainment industry isn't an easy place for complete honesty. There are public expectations. There are contracts. There are images to maintain. And often, there are things that simply shouldn't be revealed openly. That's why, sometimes, the truth doesn't come in the form of direct statements, but through hints, through half-formed sentences, through how someone chooses words and what they choose not to say. For some, this mystery is part of the allure, that not everything needs to be explained, that there's beauty in uncertainty, and that perhaps the most meaningful relationships are the ones never announced. But for others, it's a haunting puzzle, a story that feels unfinished. A question that keeps swirling without a definitive answer. Is it just friendship? Or is there something deeper that can't be expressed? What's clear is that the relationship between Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan has left an indelible mark, not only in their careers, but also in the hearts of the fans who follow their every step. And perhaps, in the end, it's not about finding definitive answers, but about understanding that some relationships don't need labels to be real. Because sometimes, the most powerful are the ones that are never spoken. As time passes, the public begins to realize that not everything can be measured by what's on the surface. There are dynamics that only those who truly pay attention can perceive, and in the case of Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, those dynamics seem to grow more complex with each passing year. Old interviews are being re-emerged. Words that once seemed ordinary now sound different, as if they hold hidden meanings only understood after years have passed. Tone of voice, facial expressions, even small pauses in conversation. All are being reanalyzed by fans trying to understand a story that has never truly been told. Amidst the scrutiny, both have chosen the same path: silence. No clarification. No attempt to confirm or quell speculation. A choice that, for some, only fuels curiosity. Silence can mean many things. It could be a form of protection. It could also be a boundary deliberately created to keep something intact, away from public judgment. In an industry so quick to judge, sometimes silence is the only way to maintain control. However, what makes this story even more compelling is how the two remain present, even if not overtly. At certain moments, their names still frequently surface in the same context. Whether it's through old memories, projects that connect their past, or simply coincidences that feel too frequent to ignore. Fans are divided. Some choose to believe that all of this is just a coincidence magnified by imagination. But others believe that behind it all, there's a connection that wasn't meant for public consumption. Interestingly, as time passes, this narrative hasn't faded. In fact, it's grown stronger. In an era where trends come and go quickly, the story of Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan remains enduring. It's as if something keeps it relevant, constantly talked about, and alive in the memories of many. Perhaps it's because this isn't just about two people. It's about how humans try to find meaning in things that can't be fully explained. It's about hope, about connection, and about the possibility that there are beautiful stories unfolding quietly, without need for global recognition. And amid all the speculation, one thing remains certain. Not every truth needs to be revealed to be real. Sometimes, the most sincere lies hidden behind things that are never confirmed. Ultimately, whether this is a story of an extraordinary friendship or something deeper that was never named, perhaps that isn't what matters. What matters is how this story has touched so many people, left a trail of emotions that are hard to describe, and is proof that even in silence, a connection can be powerful. Interestingly, the more they distanced themselves from the public, the stronger the memories of their past became for fans. Old footage of the Untamed was rewatched, analyzed, and experienced in a different way. It was as if each scene held a new layer of meaning never before realized. Even small things like hand gestures, the way they stood close together, or spontaneous reactions to each other now felt like valuable clues. Was it all just coincidence? Or part of something deeper never intended for the world to see? Time passed, and both men continued their careers, pursuing their own paths. New projects, new achievements, and evolving identities. Yet, strangely, the shadow of their past togetherness never truly disappeared. There was a lingering emotional imprint, something difficult to explain with logic alone, like an old song that lingers, even after we've long since stopped playing it. That's how this story lives, not always visible, but always felt. Some might see this as a collective illusion, a story exaggerated by imagination and hope. But for others, it's proof that not every relationship needs to be obvious to be felt. And perhaps that's precisely where its power lies. In the uncertainty. In the empty space that allows each person the freedom to understand it in their own way. A story that doesn't force belief, but remains hard to ignore. In the end, do we really need answers? Or is it precisely the mystery that keeps this story alive, evolving, and touching the hearts of so many, without ever losing its charm?